Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, what it is.
What it is, big man. Are you alive and kicking?
I'm alive, oh. I did. As my Nigerian brothers would say. I did.
Too soon, Mr. Maposa, too soon.
It's too
The
soon.
wound is still very fresh. I've got Pelile. Well, by the time people listen to this, it won't even be 48 hours since
That
that
is
match.
true. That is true. I think, for me, ironically, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, AFCON semi-final, Nigeria versus South Africa. Nigeria won by the slimmest of margins on penalties. But, it was like, for me, where my heart is versus where my bank account is. It was heart versus bank account. I didn't know which one I wanted to lose. But no, I mean, I was firmly backing SA just because of the ramifications. If South Africa were to have the bragging rights over football, especially against Nigeria, oh my God. Because, again, Nigeria is so overwhelming and everything else. Like, population-wise, just influence and just them being there. It's a louder voice. So if they all collectively had to own the fact that they lost to South Africa in a football match, oh my goodness, that would have been amazing. I just
Would have been special.
It would have been special. It would have been. But I mean, shout out to Bafana. They played a great game. I think Nigeria deserved to win because South Africa played with food.
Yes.
Had South Africa been
that
a
was
little
so
bit
frustrating,
more
dog.
clinical, easy 2-3-0 by halftime.
By halftime.
Because they were shredding through that midfield. Fam. Shredding through. Really, there was nothing there. There was no resistance. The defenders were on their heels. And, that's what happens when you play with food, guys. That's, we've seen it in football many, many times. When you don't take your chances, you get taken. That's, unfortunately, how the cookie crumbles. But before we get Mr. Moyo's thoughts on this, guys, welcome back. It is another episode of 6 for Weights, your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo.
And my name is Senna.
And we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yes.
Mr. Moyo, thoughts on the game?
Do you know what, right? When it came to that match, I wanted South Africa to win, not only because I live in South Africa and I'm friends with many more South Africans than I am Nigerians. But for the same reason you said, right? Like, sometimes you ever come across people that need a humbling, like sometimes I feel like Nigerians need that, like, and also there's the appropriation of Amapiano, where it's like, it's shameless, dog. It's like,
Dude, it's appropriation of Amapiano, appropriation of the baddies. Like, who gave you attention?
Right.
Who gave you attention? Who gave you permission to invade and take the baddies? Who said?
No, I blame Ocholofina, both in Zimbabwe and in South Africa. Because I think some of these attitudes that I think a lot of guys in Southern Africa get, I think from West African gents, particularly from Nigerians especially. It's more, we can take your women, we make more money than you, we are more successful in this that, Afrobeats to the world, Kwasha Kwaklima, etc, wada, right? Afrobeats is bigger, Amapiano is bigger than all of this, which apparently came from Ghana.
Yeah,
even that in itself, it's like, oh, you actually don't own Afrobeat. Like, it didn't originate, because I always thought Afrobeats were from Nigeria. I always just thought Afrobeats was like a Nigerian, and then they took it to the rest of West Africa. And then, no, it's actually the other way around. It started in Ghana, and then Nigeria populated it. The Yanos too, although the Yanos, I think, like Mnige and all these other big Amapiano songs, those were always probably South African products. Yeah. So sometimes I sometimes think, like that person who chats so much shit, you just want them to lose. However, I wouldn't say I was outwardly supporting Bafana Bafana, you know? It was kind of like, yeah, I'd rather you guys win, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just for the sake of peace on the TL and also peace, you know, on the streets.
In the streets.
Because some of these people, someone remarked on social media last night, Wati, one of the reasons they wanted South Africa to win was, you know, we just wanted to be safe, you know, because I think when you guys come with banter, you're not coming with like fun, ha 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 banter. You guys are coming with, we will put a tire on you and light it.
It's the Boso mentality.
Yeah, Boso mentality. We're gonna go to Hillbrow and sunny side in Pretoria and Yeovil in Joburg and start asking for documents.
No, honestly, I mean, Trevor Noah has that. He did that joke some years ago when he was first starting out. But like it is true, where it's like that's the one time being a Ndebele person is amazing, because there you can easily assimilate. If you're an SA and you're looking for oaths, if you get had as a Ndebele person in SA, clearly you are not serious. Like that's just, if you couldn't just disappear like a ghost and just not be, you know, one of those people that are targeted, and that's like, you need to be a bit serious. You literally speak the language. Yeah. How are you getting ousted with everybody else? But I don't know.
And the funny thing is, you know, and I don't know if it's something which is, the more I think about it, Nigerians don't assimilate wherever they go, right?
No.
Remember how we spoke about how when, you know, some people leave Zim and they go to the UK, they'll adopt an accent, they'll assimilate to the culture, they'll become British, they'll become American, they'll become, even to some extent, even when they live here, unless they live in a purely Zim community, they'll assimilate with the cultures of SA, they'll support SA sports, they'll watch cricket, they'll go watch the Springboks, they'll do all these things. Nigerians aren't about that life, bro.
Nah. Nigerians, the same WhatsApp. Like, Shona is unapologetically Shona. It's like, listen, this is who I am. This is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, which is beautiful, I think, in itself. But sometimes, like, that humbling is necessary, which we didn't get obviously on the football field. Shout out to Nigeria. I think they were more clinical of the two teams, even in the penalty shootout. You know, I looked at who's this guy, Evidence Mahopa, who plays for Orlando Pirates, and then he stepped up to take a penalty. As of this guy, I said to my wife, because we're watching the game together, I'm like,
was he the one who took it first?
Huh?
Did you take the first South Africa penalty? Is that the guy?
No. The first one was Mukwena, I think, but Mukwena took the one in the game as well.
Yes. Okay.
Mahopa's the guy who took that silly Dagwad penalty where it's got no power, he had no run up, it wasn't even to any corner.
Evidence was like it was between the center and the post, where it's like, for a keeper that's the best penalty to take, right?
Yeah,
that was the one.
Yeah, it's got no power,
it was
nothing. Yeah, dog, like Utembele. But that's where you see sometimes the difference in experience in the big moments. I think Ronwen Williams as a goalkeeper is fantastic, but Laba Banye, I think when it came down to it, I think the moment became a bit too big.
Even Ronwen, like,
just converting penalties.
If I was Ronwen, right, especially the penalty in the game, number one, and the first penalty that Nigeria took, they were both down the middle. If I was him, because particularly they studied the tape of the match against Cape Verde, what I would have done is I've stayed in the middle, because for all of those other penalties, he was diving, right? He'd pick a side, commit to it, and let's hope, which is, you know, a great strategy as a keeper as well, right?
Yeah.
But like, if I'm him, because I know what happened the weekend before in the quarterfinal, and I know the psychology of the players, if I was a coach, I'd be like, Chief, I know you want to pick a side, but for that first penalty, this guy is probably thinking about the game tape. And if he's thinking about the game tape, what Nigeria did was super intelligent, which was straight down the middle because the guy's gonna dive.
Yeah.
It's like in basketball, if you have one of these really tall guys, right? So like when I was in high school, because I'm taller than most of the people on the court, I loved blocking shots. That was my thing. So all these smaller guys, if they're smart, what do? They'll just pump fake. Because if they pump fake me, I'm in the air. And then once you're in the air, there's nothing you can do, right? You've lost the war. So that's what happens if you know you have a guy who loves to jump, really. Yeah, fake him. He'll jump. Once he jumps, then you take your shot. Same thing with Uron, when I would be like, nah, chief, stay in the middle, because these guys are probably thinking, you want to what? You want to jump and commit to one side. And if you just sit in the middle, you look so stupid as a penalty taker when you shoot it down the middle and the keeper doesn't move.
Yes, I know there's someone.
It's like taking a panenka.
In the PL, I've forgotten who it is. Just took a penalty, tried to chip the keeper, tried a panenka actually. It was silly. And then the keeper just stood still and caught it bare hands and then like just bounced the ball off the floor.
Remember, I got Aguero. I think it was his last match, or maybe second last match.
Yes, it would have been Aguero. Was it against Chelsea?
No, I don't think it was. Maybe it was against Chelsea, but I remember it was like his second last or last match of his City career.
He tried to do that.
So fun.
Yo, but my guy, the banter that's come out of this, you cannot out banter Nigerians. I don't think you can do that. And the funny thing is, South Africans are, like on the African continent, they're that kid with the mercurials in class, right? They're the ones where it's a government school, but your parents are well off, and you've got the best boots and the best kit and the best technology. You've got the latest iPhone. You live in the double story with parents who are supportive and they care. You know what I mean, right? It's like on the continent, they're those guys, right? And then the North Africans are like the random white and colored guys who happen to be in the government school. Our Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, like the colored oaks from
Morocco.
What's the name of that hood in PG?
It's nice. You say shout out to the Goffalones. Shout out to the Goffalones that listen to the pod.
Shout out to the Goffalones, man. But then you just see it how when SA then came, and then they were humble. There's always an extra personal satisfaction when Nigeria do it, because it's like, we are performing better. We don't have as much money as you guys, as much resources pumped into our federation, blah 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 blah. So they've been letting it rip the whole morning on Twitter, bro. Like some of the jokes, man.
Cooking.
Oh,
they've literally been cooking. But I think at the end, just so something that's funny. But I think I think the funniest thing that I saw was actually from a South African who tweeted. I don't know. Did you watch Power? Did you watch all of Power?
Did I watch
all of Power? You finished like 6 seasons, whatever.
Yeah, the last season I didn't really watch it.
Okay, so there's that clip. I'm sure you've seen it, where Ghost wakes up Tyreek with a gun.
Oh yes. He's like, wake up, no nigga.
Exactly, sleeping time's over, no nigga. So some chick posted that clip and then said at Mandela. Before the game, he's like, we need you, bro. And again, he did come through. Because that penalty, that sequence of going down 2-0 and all of a sudden VAR says penalty. I couldn't believe it.
Man.
Oh, bro, I fell off my chair. Because I was like, it was English a bit. It was English TV.
Yeah.
Like once it was 2-0, I was like, hey, you guys tried. It is what it is. And then all of a sudden penalty. And then all of a sudden 1-1. And like, you could see how rattled Nigeria was. Like, that was, we had foot on their necks. And hey, bro, what did you do? That open game. Who did the game?
Who missed the? Oh, Mudau.
Was it Mudau?
Mudau.
Was it Percy?
Mudau.
Oh, Mudau. Okay.
Mudau, yeah. So I know the free kick came in, keeper saved, open net, and then Mudau had his Mugae moment.
Bro,
and I said it during the game. I think in the group I was like, "That's his Mugae moment."
Yeah,
because it's a difficult chance because it comes to him very quickly. But come on, at international level, you've got to put that away.
No, it's not even that. It's just my thing I firmly believe this. My guy had seen himself in the lights in South Africa. He had seen the parade. He had seen the welcome at OR Tambo. He had
In the
snap-
conquer baddies.
Yeah, because in that moment when you're chasing the rebound, there was enough time in his mind to be like, yo, this is my moment. I'm about to send us to the final. That was literally what was going through for a quick snapshot in his head. He had seen it. He had seen it. And I've been in that situation myself. Funniest shit ever. We had in uni we had this tournament, right? It was we called it the World Cup. So there was Team Africa, Team Europe, South America, North America, all the continents were represented, right?
Yeah.
So it was basically a World Cup style tournament, knockout. And the African team, I was on the African team and we got to the final, right? So I think we were playing, it was Africa versus Asia, if I remember, because again, this was a long time ago. I think it was Africa versus Asia. And we're playing good, like we had ballers. We had ballers on the team. So then now we are on the counter attack. And my boy has gathered all the attention of the defenders. So he does a KDB, squares the ball, Maps is there, open gates, bro. I had seen, when I could see the ball.
Name in lights.
Daughter, I was like, listen, the baddies today is all me, dog. Like, I had seen it. I had literally seen my name in the lights. I was like, right, I'm going to win this for Africa. It's about to go down. Really, this was probably the last 5-10 minutes of the game. And they were not coming back from. So the ball gets to my foot. I'm thinking, right, top corner, of which if man just places the ball, go. Just place, Upela, no power, just direct the ball. Ngavutela mdala. I don't think I've seen a ball hit the skies quicker in my life. And it's like one of those things where even the crowd that was watching us, right? Everyone, people are already screaming because it's like they're screaming because it's a goal. Because it's a tap-in, Seda. It's a tap-in. So everyone is already like, go Bora, says we delay, Askitin, Sky Dararam. And I couldn't, me myself, as the person who hit the ball, I could not believe I skied that shot. But then when you think about it now, it's like, I got under the ball and it went straight into the air above the bar, and then it ended in penalties, and we lost on penalties, which was... but I scored the penalty that I took. Just a disclaimer, guys. Scored the penalty that I took in the shootouts. Yeah. I have a technique that works all the time. I literally stare at the one corner, look nervous, and then when I actually take the Lokuzeni, I just tap it into the other corner. Because the keeper is trying to study you for any advantage. So that's my technique. It works for me. Just your social Sunday soccer maps. Giving some gems to the boys out there. But yeah, I understood the moment. Like when that guy missed it, I was shook, I was annoyed, but I was like, time I get it, because I've been in that situation. It kind of needs one of those things where you're so focused when there's a build up, right? You're so focused on the game, and you're building up to a play, touch, and then, cross to you and you jump. Like just those natural things where your brain is not thinking. It's more of the instincts that you have of the game. That's the best place to be in. The moment you start to think, that's where findings start to happen. That's where findings start to happen. Yeah, no, hey, right.
Look, I think people will be proud of Bafana's performance. I agree. They got to the semis. I didn't think anyone had them down for the semis. But I think once the tournament started and I saw how poor everyone else was, including Nigeria.
What a backhand compliment.
No, dude, like everyone else was a bit... I watched the game against Morocco. I was disappointed in Morocco. I was like, dude, you guys have Babo, Ziyech and all these guys, and they even missed the penalty.
I
remember just thinking...
Big nations, they don't take it seriously. These are the countries you could tell with Abalanda.
Exactly. Ivory Coast are going to the Ivory Coast were in the semis, and they hadn't won a single game through the group stages. They qualified as the third best team. Ghana was out, Cameroon is out, Egypt, all of them,
Yeah,
And
all the
even
big boys.
Nigeria, South Africa played well for the first half, for most of the game actually. It should have
SA was the
won.
better team. No, no, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, to me, South Africa played that. You can't be Nigerian and brag, in my opinion. Like in terms of football, like if we're talking football, not just banter, but you can't brag about that win because literally they had you on the ropes the whole game, essentially. Apart from maybe 4 or 5 moments of brilliance from individual players on Nigeria. But otherwise, and again, if I'm coaching, I'm showing that to a team. Like, you see what happens when possession means nothing. Chances mean nothing if you don't put them away. That's just whatever sport that you play. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, Because and like I was talking to my colleague today. I was like, you know what? This was SA's best chance to win AFCON because of what you just said. All the big boys were
Yeah,
out. What's the likelihood that this happens again? Is it AFCON every 2 years or 4 years?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, yeah. So again, in 2026, what's the likelihood that this happens? This was like one of those phenoms where it's like, right, people are excited because it's parity, and it's like who's gonna win. But now we've wound up we wound up getting the same old, when we could have gotten something brand new. At the
Something
end of the day.
different.
Yeah.
I want to, before we move on to the next thing, just one more thing on the South African team. There's this boy, Lau Foster. He plays for Burnley, right? I think he's one of the Burnley forwards. So a few months ago, he said he's struggling with mental health, right? And then he withdrew from the national team. And I think for Burnley as well, for like a game or two. There was a couple of games for Burnley that he missed because he was dealing with mental health issues. Then he comes back for Burnley and he starts playing football again. And then he withdraws still from the squad to go to AFCON for South Africa. Now,
Yeah.
I think someone mentioned Uguti, the biggest frustration, and I get, mental health, you don't know how someone deals with it. It could be different things that trigger them, maybe even traveling to Ivory Coast to be with the national team for, it's a whole month where you're in camp, right? You're without family, you're without friends, relatives, you're just with your teammates, most of whom play locally, you're not even close with. So, you're doing that for a whole month. So he withdrew from the AFCON squad. And then after last night's performance, the South African forwards were disappointing. Percy Tau was lively, but the finishing touch and the final product was way off.
Nah,
And
he was
even
moving like Lukaku.
Yeah, even Evidence Mahopa, same thing. And then he then goes, this person on Twitter goes, imagine if Lyle Foster actually played, because he's a better forward than these other guys. But then, obviously because mental health issues, he couldn't play.
Yeah.
Are you as frustrated, or do you understand that frustration, or do you say, hey, my guy, you should have toughened up to represent your nation?
No, I think I sympathize 100%. Like, if he's identified that, and like, again, I don't know enough about the issue, but if from just purely based on what you're saying, you have to respect someone's discretion at that point. If someone says mental health, whether we like it or not, they could be faking, they could be just not wanting to go. Like, who knows, right? But it's kind of like when it comes to abuse allegations and stuff like that. Yes, sure, it could be someone is faking it, and there's always a possibility, right, that these are false claims. True, but it's just one of those things you have to respect. If that's what's going on with you, we just have to respect it and support you as best as we can. That's the way that I see it.
Yeah. Okay. No, got it. Yeah, but that's big ups to Nigeria. Who do you think wins the whole thing? I think they win the whole thing from now. Ivory Coast are hosts, but AFCON witchcraft. You can never be too sure.
I haven't watched any Ivory Coast games, so I don't know how they're playing.
Not
but
great.
I mean, it would be nice for Ivory Coast to win just because they're hosting it. I think it's always great when the hosting nation wins because the city, the country is just so alive. It's amazing when you host it and you win. Oh man, that's seeing all the jubilation of the fans when I saw some reaction on like Bleacher Report after they put their seat in the final. Like, I like seeing people happy. Especially Africans when they because there's so many shitty things going on in all of our countries.
Yeah.
And when these things happen, people are just so happy you forget about your problems for a bit, and it's just it's love all around. You want to hug and kiss your neighbor, So I want that for Ivory Coast.
No, dope. No. All good. We'll see which one comes out on top over the weekend.
Right. So, hey, I just need to take a moment to bitch about this. The real pandemic one. OnlyFans girls. We need a way to just block them or something, because again, it's different if you're looking for them, right? If you're there and you're okay, fine, that's very, very different. But like, I'm just trying to see here. I think I bookmarked a comment here. Like look, their comments are just so thirsty. It's like it's even a turn off, bro. Like, bruv, what do you mean, fam? And it's like, I'm just trying to look. I didn't bookmark anything. Shit. Mm-hmm. But like, there was a post. Maybe I sent it to you guys in the group. But there was a random post, and literally, this girl goes and she posts with the hair. Yes. That's the one. Found. Right. So someone posted a joke on Twitter, right? And the caption is, when your bro says, "Do you still need my hotspot?" in front of the host, right? It's a joke, plenty of retweets, plenty of likes, and again, we see all those type of posts on Twitter all the time, right? We see them, we laugh, we retweet, we share, or ignore, whatever it is. But then now I'm scrolling through the comments, and then some OnlyFans responds to the thing and says, "I'm a hoe, LOL." And then it's a picture of her naked, and you see like her boobs. And it's like, can't you market better, my guy? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, man. It's ruining the experience. Because now it's like, now I can't be in the office scrolling through comments of jokes, bro. It's not even like, you know what I mean? Like, at least if it was someone's posted a thirst trap, and then, okay, fine. You looking in the comments of a thirst trap comment, or whatever it is sexual, the original tweet is a sexually related thing, cool. And you find it there, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to be mad at it. But it's a joke, fam. And then I've even seen in comments of like Bleacher Report, posts about football, about basketball. Like, why are you in there, fam? Like, it's like, I guess.
Because this is their business. This is how they make money. And I reckon what's also happened now, the other difficulty is, so Twitter, if you're subscribed and you're a paying member of Twitter,
yes,
it prioritizes your comments above others. Tina.
Exactly.
So if Tabo posts something and there's like 100 comments underneath, only the verified people's ones go to the top. Those are the ones we see first.
Exactly.
Now, this is the era of engagement, right? It's the era of internet traffic being the ultimate currency that works in Mhlabeni, or one of the main currencies that work in Mhlabeni. What you tend to see is the same thing we spoke about people posting random controversial opinions for engagement.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with these baddies. They're going to post their thirst traps for the purposes of directing traffic to their OnlyFans page. So you might be like, what the hell? This is annoying. I'm not even trying to see ass and titties on a Tuesday afternoon at work while I'm scrolling through a football article, right?
Bruh.
But sometimes, for them, there are so many guys who watch football who are going to click on that link and then go subscribe. So I get it, it's annoying. Like at this moment in time, I think it's just annoying. It's like, dude, like, come on, there's no too much
I'm trying to figure
adult
out
content
one
on the
simple
TL.
thing. I'm just trying to figure out, is Pochettino going to get fired or not? Right?
Yeah,
are we getting the
my team just got waxed at home.
We just shipped
to
Wolves.
I just need. I'm not trying to see this. No, man, but ultimately, I think that's all it is. They've just found a way to. It's a different way of marketing. It's something that also used to annoy me about South African Twitter, how when something trends on South African Twitter, you can't find why it's trending anymore, because people just be advertising and plugging their businesses on the hashtag. So it'll be like, I'm selling furniture, hashtag Anile Mdoda, hashtag Trevor Noah, hashtag Rihanna.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, why is Vusi Tembegwayo trending today? I'll go search hashtag Vusi Tembegwayo. Hi guys, I need this. I'm selling this. I'm doing that. And then it becomes like a trading platform, right? Twitter. Like Twitter is literally hell, bro. Like the way I see it. There is just so much going on at the same time. There's guys watching football talking about it there. There's relationship chats on this side. Ngapo Munye is posting about everything is possible through Jesus. And then you scroll. 2 seconds later, ass and titties, right? So, sometimes it's just the nature of what the platform has become, Katesi. Yes, it's frustrating.
Even remember when Cyril used to do State of the Nation addresses during COVID? I'd be trying to see, because I wouldn't have watched the actual thing, right? Now I'm seeing like, okay, Senna tweet something about it. Okay, let me see what are the remember when you were going down in stages, that was it, right? From stage 5, stage 4. Yeah. So I'm trying to see, okay, what's allowed, what's not allowed in SA now? What are people talking about? So hashtag whatever. What was the hashtag back then? Was it? There was a hashtag for it.
There was a family meeting. Hashtag Ramaphosa speech or level 3.
Yes, exactly. So I'll click on the family meeting hashtag, and then it's like someone else who's there on some completely random. Hey guys, here's my latest single. Hashtag family meeting.
Dude, I'm not trying to hear your mixtape.
Get your bum ass music out of here, bro.
Oh my god.
I'll get your trash ass piano out of this discussion, fam. I'm trying to say important things. Can I go to SA or not? I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like, do we still need I'm a COVID certificate? Yeah. You know, I'm looking for important information. Mistake. Anyway. So people need to.
There was actually an allegation from the OnlyFans people. So you know what they do on Twitter right now, right? How they can just advertise very freely. Twitter's a different platform, granted. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Facebook and Instagram don't actually allow that kind of content. So if you're trying to be like an OnlyFans,
you can't be nude on Facebook and Instagram. Like, so because people report you like, hey, it's not safe for the kids or whatever. Twitter is, like, it's a whole different beast. Like the community guidelines are very loose on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. So I think if I'm not mistaken, there was even a case about it where the OnlyFans models were upset that OnlyFans and Facebook had conspired to reduce the traffic that they get on those sites, which, to be honest, is within Facebook's or the Meta companies. It's within their realm to do. Like, I think they're allowed to, if they're like, yo, look, we don't need to see this on our platform. It's we're more family friendly, we're more this, we're more that. Then they can be like, right, sharp, less of that.
Yeah. No. I'm 100%, with you on that. And I think just to put a button on it, it just kind of reminds me of, like, how like the trend now is like, a dude posts something wild or controversial or whatever. We're quick to say, hey, bro, stop scaring the hoes. Like, to the OnlyFans models that are out there, potentially
stop scaring the youths.
Stop scaring the bros, my guy. Stop scaring the bros. Like, honestly, like, come on. Like, we are traumatized. That's getting over comments in and it's even this verification thing is annoying. Like, where you can pay for it, and get it as a revenue generator, but like, nah, fam. Like, it used to be so much fun on Twitter to go through people who are actually funny in the comment section, and those likes get, those are the tweets that you see first, the most interactive. But now, because someone has paid $8 a month, it's kind of annoying. It is. It's very annoying to see that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I don't know how they can fix it, but
So
if they even wanted to fix
so
it.
I found an article about this thing, right? So you're saying OnlyFans content creators allege that OnlyFans owners and operators, in conjunction with Meta employees, and so Meta including Facebook and Instagram, have agreed to. They allege that they have agreed to add OnlyFans content creators to, wait for it, a blacklist similar to that they do of terrorists, that is maintained by Meta and other social media companies in order to prevent their content and redirect traffic away from their OnlyFans account. Meta is well within their rights to treat this as a reason to ban such accounts, because if they
it is terrorism.
Exist, it's a long
Social
article,
media terrorism.
but I think it went all the way to court, and I think they're still fighting about it. But yeah, so that was the whole thing where I think Facebook or the Meta companies then decided to kind of flag them in a similar way they do with Abo. Who are those guys that used to do the beheadings on Facebook?
I have no idea who those guys are.
No, man, Boko Haram. No, Boko Haram is the one that stole the girls.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But yeah, I mean, I get the spirit of what you're saying. I just think, these OnlyFans houses need to stop being lazy, and, they need to go about it the old school way, where all of these other, go from quote unquote models, porn stars, performers, whatever you want to call them. Bro, go on the websites where that content is looked for. And if you're good at what you do, you will get a following. It's very simple.
So what, they upload their stuff on X videos and then it'll be like, for more content, follow, click on my OnlyFans or whatever it is.
Go and put trailers or whatever you need to do to generate interest. Because again, if you're dope, you're dope. You'll find your customers, because then it's going to work itself out.
Do you not think that, and this is me now coming at it differently, that particular market is already overly saturated with people advertising their adult content, be it on OnlyFans or otherwise, right?
It's not easy. More. That's what I'm saying. It's a difficult way to do it, because now, but also, Senna, what's the likelihood of how successful a method is it for you to be posting in these random posts on Twitter? Right? Is it literally a case of, because I could never imagine myself being that distracted. Like, literally, I'm annoyed, Chelsea just lost, I'm trying to see the news on Bleacher Report, and then someone, this hand post in the comment section, I'm like, oh, actually, let me subscribe to that OnlyFans.
But I think there's guys who do. I think there's guys who do.
But,
and I think you underestimate the number
is it enough of a market?
Thirsty guys who would click on that link and pay whatever subscription fee after seeing that picture underneath a Bleacher Report or ESPN. I think, or ESPN, maybe they're more refined and they block and they hide things quickly, because they got dedicated people to it. But the smaller football accounts, right, the ones that aren't your Sky Sports, they'll most likely have no one controlling all of that stuff underneath. And I think you underestimate how many thirsty guys are willing to click on that stuff and go have a look. And that's what I'm saying. The reason why they bring it to Twitter is because it's a different platform to get men, to get eyes. Because you might have guys who go on X videos and whatever, and they have very specific things that they look for, or they already know who they're looking for, or they just randomly scroll until they find whatever they like, right? But that is
is what I'm saying. Even that, but there is
so much
website.
No, but on those websites, right, there is so much content. You're competing with other porn stars, right, from all over the world, like Kuba Gunengi, and it's hard to stand out. But on Twitter, it's just random disarming guys that are just looking for news and football updates, and then ding. Oh, hi.
I see it. That's what I'm saying. I see the appeal to it, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it's like, I've just never, in general, understood the OnlyFans business model, in the sense that, like, if these people are going and saying, right, $10 to subscribe to my account, right? Let's say it's 10 women that you're into that put out content on OnlyFans. $10 each. That's $100 USD. Whereas, number one, the hub has it for free. Number two, if you want all of the hub and all these other websites to have subscription-based models where you pay like, I don't know, $10, $15, $20, whatever it is, per month. And you have thousands of videos that you have access to. So like, I've never understood, like, how much do you have to love a porn star to be like, right, for you, here's $20. Like,
Yeah.
that is next level commitment. Like, I've seen, what's her name? Iggy Azalea, right? And then Cardi B, I think. I don't know, but Iggy and someone, like, made lots of money on OnlyFans. But I get that because they're celebs.
Who was it?
So
Was
it's
it?
like, okay, cool.
There's also a Jamaican artist who released a music video on OnlyFans. It was a Spice.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was Spice.
It was Spice. It was one of those where it was like,
she's liable to do those things.
actually, like the full video would be available on it. I was like, oh, okay.
That's bad. That's actually bad. But those guys, again, it makes sense to have an OnlyFans because you know you're big enough where people will pay $20 just for you, right? But then all this, it's like there's so many. Like if you just go through, like just by being on Twitter, I'm like, yo, this market already, just the OnlyFans market alone, it's so saturated, bro. Are you guys actually making money? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. Like it's like, nah. Like there's no way that this is a profitable business model because it's just, bro, they're everywhere and it's just kind of like, half of yours look the same. It's all BBLs and this and that. It's like, I don't know, bro. What's the difference? Like, I don't know. But anyway, if we have any experts in these fields who can break it down and let me know, let's talk about that profit ratio and see if we do come back.
So you should actually go look at that. I think I spoke about it a few months ago. That documentary on Netflix about the porn industry. I think it's about Pornhub. How some of the content and videos on there was without the person's consent. Some of them would be actual rapes, and so if you go on, which is a very weird thing, but apparently, if you speak to some people, they'll tell you that they don't watch porn on Pornhub anymore because it's now like clean, right? It's now industry clean.
Sorry,
it's more, huh? I don't know why you're laughing. But anyways, so what's happened is Pornhub has cleaned up its act, and now all of the people who are there are either verified, so like you provide like your ID and your proof of address and all of these things, or passport, and it has to be consensual. So you've got like production companies most of the time that are pushing the content on Pornhub, right? Which is different from other platforms. So what they're saying now is, back in the day, they would never get money from our Brazers and Naughty America and all these big studios because they just keep the sheets and then pay them like a paltry amount. Whereas now, because of OnlyFans, they can like take charge of their content and get money directly. So yes. I'm always reluctant. Yes, I know we're kind of slandering, like, why is such aggressive marketing? But it's because now they have to be their own business people, because there's no money in those mainstream platforms. Because the people who make money,
so the production houses had budgets.
The production houses,
they had marketing budgets to push you. So it's like music industry, basically, right? Yes. So there's an independent artist,
yes,
and then there's someone who has the backing of Sony or Universal or whatever.
Exactly,
it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they're pushing OnlyFans, and that's why they would encourage you even to be like, no, this is safer than what people would consume on those other websites. Because oftentimes on those other websites, they would never get money or they would never get control of the content. It's like Maya Khalifa. I think she's come out and said, Uguti, for years, she was married or dating this guy who would make her do porn. And then I think she spent the last couple of years trying to fight to have that content removed from adult websites.
Sure.
Hey, you should look at that documentary. I think it's called Money Shot or something. It's on Netflix. It's really eye-opening.
What a name. Money Shot is such a dope name. That's hilarious. Okay. adult education, Mr. Moyo. We should be sure to report back with you next week when you've done the appropriate researches.
Yes.
To see
Necessary.
what are going. And then now again for a wild transition from the porn industry, let's go to Zim politics. Our favorite dream seller, Nelson. I have to fight the urge to not say Chamisa.
That would be appropriate following the conversation we just had.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Yo, I've got an idea for the title of this episode, but the problem is that if y'all are lucky that my dad actually listens to the podcast. So it's just one of those things is that that's not gonna work. Cause like now I'm gonna probably get a phone call to be like, hey chief, you're wild.
Yeah, you're wild. Yeah.
So we'll keep it PG for now. But anyway, Mr. Chamisa announced, I think it was last week or the week before, that he is resigning from the CCC. What was it? People's Coalition of something? Citizens Coalition of something. But anyway, that was of no surprise to me. Because again, any listener of the podcast knows that Senna and I share the same views on this guy, that he's as good as, to put it in the Cat Williams style. He was an industry plant, like it's not a difficult case to make that Ukai was potentially an industry plant, just there to distract people, because there was hardly ever any substance. If you compare him to for example, the Swangiras of the world, the Nkomos of the world, like those dudes, like there were some things that happened against them, to them, where you could see Lapa is tricky. But with this guy, it was just so, it's almost like Nazu had the kid gloves, They always had the kid gloves, and they weren't wearing, look, remember that clip that you sent me? I got E.T., I think he was in Big Falls.
Yeah, the one where he was making jokes.
Making jokes about these powerful CEOs, Jenny. I'll ask Linda to put that clip in because it's so funny. But he's literally making jokes about vote rigging, bro.
The fact is me that I am meeting CEOs, meaning people who have succeeded in life and are at the top. But of course, without election, which is good. Because in elections you rig. I doubt whether there's any rigging with CEOs.
Self-appointed.
I think it's a merit. So I am talking to people who have to talk by merit.
It's like he said something about how you don't question the intellect and the success of these people, because you don't have elections in politics, we rig. Something along those lines, man. But I remember we spoke about it at the time, and it was before elections or after elections, I've forgotten. But we were like, bro, Mnangagwa looked so relaxed on this campaign trail. Like he was cracking jokes. He was, ZANU-PF didn't even look like they were flinching at these elections.
Nope. Everything was prepared, and it's just, I don't know. For me, it just didn't seem, and for the people who were like, no, that's the thing for me. It was hard to get behind the election thing. Where I was like, listen, if I was there, I'd have definitely voted and just been for the sake of change. That was literally it. I don't believe in you at all, but for the sake of change, I'm gonna vote for you. That's kind of where I'm at mentally, and I think a lot of Zimbabweans are there mentally. But like, even when you do it, it's just kind of one of those things. Are you really going to give Chomlo Elise? Because it just seemed like Omuntu Ongela plan. There was just no substance to the guy. At least from my vantage point, he was as good as, he was just a more popular version. Who was that other guy with the accent, the twat, the cheese boy was now caught up in this cold mafia.
Oh, I forget the name. The name.
Yeah, but that one. You guys know the cheese boy popped up for like 2 months and then disappeared. No one has heard a word from that nigga ever since like the gold mafia thing came out, and then those guys were talking about a casino in Vic Falls, and he pitched that like a month before. He posted it on his Twitter, and it was not awkward because like, chief, how do you both have the same idea with these Nazu guys who are being outed as corrupt with this gold stuff, but all of a sudden you have this very same idea, the same picture of the hotel that sits over Niagara Falls. That was one point. And ever since then, nothing from the guy. So he's just, to me, Chamisa was just a more popular version of the same thing. So now he's resigned, and then he's, I don't know. So he's
but maybe let's bring it back for balance for people who maybe sympathize with Chamisa as well. Maybe let's try and lay out for the fact. So
this is the only sympathizer I know is Nat, and I was shocked. I'm gonna out on the podcast.
He started. So Chamisa's political journey. He starts in MDC, I think. I think he's like a spokesperson after he qualifies as an advocate, and then MDC goes through the issues it goes through, and it splits into MDC Tsvangirai, and then you have MDC Alliance. MDC Tsvangirai goes with that woman, I forget her name, Coupe, I think it was Annie Coupe, if I'm not mistaken, and then everyone else, or most of the main big players, go with Chamisa. And that was only because Tsvangirai appointed him as leader of the party without following the constitution, basically, right? So there was always that dispute after Tsvangirai died of Uguti, in a typical African family. Who owns the thing? Who runs the ship? Who runs MDC?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, and look at more politically astute people can chime in and correct me. He then went campaign with the MDC Alliance, but then there were just still so many MDC issues and leadership disputes that were there. So what did he do? And this is where I think me and Nat disagree on what he could have done. So we accept Uguti, the MDC had many issues after the split and after Tsvangirai died, and it just made campaigning difficult because now you've got two MDCs on the ballot, and now brand recognition, the whole thing is a mess. So what does he do? He starts his own party, CCC, Citizens Coalition for Change, right? And then from there, it was 2 years ago, so they run up and campaign for this year's past elections. They don't win the elections, separate conversation as well. But even then, the issues follow him. The MDC issues follow them to CCC. And they'll culminate in this guy, Sengezo Chabang, who calls himself the interim Secretary General of the CCC. And then he just sends messages starting to recall MPs from Parliament, saying that he's the chosen one. Basically, you're just messing up the CCC's running and the chosen elected officials and candidates, right? So what does Chamisa do? This is where my big criticism comes from. He then resigns from the party that he formed, and I don't know if he's going to start a new party or what he's going to do. But at this moment in time, I think he expects people to also resign and leave with him to this new journey, right? Some people have resigned. Others said, no, I won't be resigning. I'm staying on as an MP. I don't think... So I think... I wouldn't go as far as you, because I think you say that he's like a plant. I don't think he's a plant. For me, I just don't think he's a good politician in an African context.
So that guy, he's got no, there's I don't know, he doesn't have the bit between his teeth, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, some of the things where it's like, bro, the house is on fire. I need you to take control and, show Nazuti, hey, brah, our sons are here. And then, but you're on Twitter, gyrating for people on Twitter, where everybody knows when it comes to Zim, the business is done on the ground. I should be hearing about your efforts. I always hear these stories. Bruh, these Nazos pulled up in my car. We hear those stories on a yearly basis. Every election season, they do something. It's not, I barely ever see, and I know, Zanwe has, Twitter accounts and stuff like that. I rarely ever see it, bro. They post and what, it rarely ever trends, right? But guess what trends? The shit they do on the ground. That's what you hear about. It's not even you have to look for it. You just hear it, local happened, this, that. But then with him, it's why? It's frustrating. The dream cell away is just bro, it's a small percentage of people that are actually on the internet using Twitter, that are all those people are already voting for you, right? If they're not with the ruling party, everyone by default, you don't even have to say shit on Twitter, my guy. Nothing at all. Do nothing. Go out into the field. Those are the people that you need to deal with, right? There's very few people who actually believe in Zanu, right? And because people on Twitter will have you believe that the Zanu Valley, they had to rig, 3/4 of the votes, they had to rig them, which is not true. I'm sure this time around they barely just away something like that. Because at the end of the day, it's like, one, you can't. It's kind of like, I don't know. Why don't you look at it as the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Yes, you guys have two, the party split in half, this and that. But if you guys are that serious about fighting against that, there's no way that you're going to say, right, I'm starting my own thing.
I think that was necessary.
Like that's
so I think the initials.
It's not, because it's like a split party is never going to take on that.
No.
One of the most organized teams that.
So I think the other arm of the MDCT, the Ega Coupe and others, the one that broke away from the main MDC stating Uguti, there's Chamisa wasn't elected properly. I think they were captured by Zanu. It's a conspiracy, I know. There's no proof that I have. But I think it's a theory that, no, look, these guys didn't do the MDC any good by splitting and running their own direction. Because you know, when someone is voting in the rural areas, so when the MDCT, the MDCA, who's going to, what they're going to do is they're just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to vote for Enyazi. And you probably had millions of votes that went to MDCT that could have gone to the MDC Alliance, right? So I think that was an issue that.
Which is what I'm saying. If you're a leader, right? You sort that out, because again, everybody can see that from a mile away.
If the other guys are saying
split, there needs to be some sort of.
If the other guys are
together.
saying, no, you're not the properly elected leader, then you might as well say, and what Chamisa inherited from Tsvangirai is the support of the public. So he had Tsvangirai's numbers and Tsvangirai's endorsement. Which is why everyone else
if he was a proper, if he knew how to run the Nazu playbook, there would have been one MDC.
and I think he would agree with you on that, right? And I think he would definitely agree. I think Chamisa would be the first to agree with you to say the only way to stop this Zanu train is let's have one MDC. But then the other guys weren't willing to come to that party. And I suspect the other guys were incentivized by the Nazu gens to be like, no, keep the split. Nazu's been doing this for time.
You can also is Nazu the only party that knows how to incentivize?
But that's where it comes down to Uguti, sharp cool. Let's play the game, right? Let's all play the dirty game. Unfortunately, the opposition party in Zim is under a lot more scrutiny from the public than Nazu. Right, so for example, a very easy thing was I think Chamisa didn't want to come out in full support of gay rights. No one would ever ask ZANU PF to come out in full support of gay rights, right?
So what you're saying is, Tina, MTC lo labo Chamisa siyabadelela.
ZANU, but we hold them to a higher standard than we do Nazu. We hold them to a higher ethical and moral standard than we would the ruling party for some reason. I don't know why, but we do. Right? So whenever
that's a fair point.
They now have to do this dirty political work, I think sometimes people, they also try and do things the right way, right in quotes, and then it doesn't really work out in an African context because you need to try and fight dirty. But that's beside the point. So I think he needed that breakaway, and I think he needed to form ECCC. And I remember at the time I thought this is a good idea because it now leaves behind all of that complication and the struggle of, hey, who's the right leader that he went through with the MDC, right? My issue is, when he started the CCC, he should have rooted out all of those issues at that time. Because what's happened now is, 2 years later, he's back at the exact same place he was with the MDC. Where it's like, no, there's people that are for me, there's people who aren't for me, there's the second.
And that's a lack of leadership.
People, there's so many disputes. In fact, I'm gonna just leave.
That is, again, Everything
That
that
for
you've
me
just
is
said, that's the big problem, dog. Like if you can't even clean up your house and you get to the point, I'm gonna cheat. Like that to me, that's weakness. That's a lack of leadership. And that's someone who would never ever topple the likes of the ruling party. Like that's what I'm saying. You have to have that level of gangster in you. If people are not falling in line, you make them fall in line. You do what it takes to make them fall in line. Like if you're not willing to go to that extent, there's no business. Really, if I'm ET and Co, I'm kicking my feet up because everybody will agree that listen, the ruling party will do what it takes to maintain power. Whatever it takes, if it's playing nice, if it's not playing nice, whatever it takes, as long as it equals maintain power and the status quo, the ruling party is going to do that, right? I guess that's something that most people in Zim would agree with. So if you don't adopt the same mentality, that this is not a fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale where it's that, oh yeah, the good guys won, da 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 da. That's not gonna happen. So in my opinion, until I see someone who has some gangster in him, Tsvangirai had some gangster in him. Like you could see it, hey, bro, to the point where if you get to a point, I want to go shy, bro. Like, yo, let's break this guy. That means like, bro, you're doing something. You know what I mean? Like, and you're not scared. They posted the picture, they beat the shit out of this dude, man. And it's like, you see that, you're like, yo, yeah, babalapa. But then if Nazu's at a point where it's like, yeah, with you, we don't even need to do none of that, fam. Like, you're not voluntarily beating up people. With you, we just deal with you in the limelight. And you resign. It's like, come on, dog. Like, how am I supposed to believe in you, Uti? There's a big bad wolf that you need to take on. But in your own house, if you can't sort things out, and you just say, let me resign, maybe let me start something different. What? It's going to be the same thing, right? So if you start a different party, Chamisa's party, and then it gets, support and all that kind of stuff. If that happens again, you're going to wind up having the same problems. Because those people under him, like from what I've seen in the game of politics, yes, you have a leader of the party, right? But there's always dudes underneath. Mugabe was the head, right? At some point. But then we all saw what happened to Mugabe. It wasn't a opposition that got him out the door. It was his own crew that got him out the door, right? It was one of those things where it was like, he was moving like a gangster, and someone even more gangster pulled up to the yard and said, Chief, what you say? Let's not make this be like how they took out Zuma, is it? Zuma Chegi, you need to like there's no story for you, my guy. Just amicably let the thing go. Like, let's not even make this messy. And it's like, and that's because it was gangsters that pulled up on him. Like, there's a couple ANC, it might look disorganized, but inside there, the decision makers, the guys who are at the top, who sit in the boardroom and say, right, since I so. There's clarity there. There's a structure there. And again, it's one of those things where if you think about like a pride of lions, right, or a pack of wolves, at the end of the day, yes, there's a wolf that leads the pack, right? Mm-hmm. But those are wolves, bro. Wolves are killers. That's like, and at some point, one of the wolves, if they spot weakness, they're going to be like, nah, bro, it's my turn. And it's on you, if you're the head, to be like, nah. Let's stop all this nonsense. Or you get had. You get had and there's a new leader. But if you don't understand that, yeah, I'm dealing with wolves and we're trying to get something done, then yeah, we're going to switch here, bro. You resign your post and then, look. It's like, then you want that guy, bro. You want that guy.
Yeah, I see. I hear you. What would you? So for and that's something you touched on, was how both the ANC and ZANU actually have a lot in common, in the sense that the opposition party always seem to be scattering, and there's people resigning, there's leaders there's people being this, there's people being that, but the party itself, like Nazu stays together, even if there's different factions within Nazu that you're aware of. Mm-hmm. You won't hear Sokule Nazu 2.0 that's now formed. Anyone who leaves the party tends to leave politics altogether in a very funny way. Except Tsvangirai. Tsvangirai left, he formed MTC. Tsvangirai was actually in Nazu back in the day. in the
Yeah,
80s.
but that's because he's got that gangster, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like if you know who you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Then you know what it takes to get there. And with a lot of these parties, like you have so many different parties in South Africa, right? Where you just know that these guys wasting our time. There's no story, right?
Yeah.
But it's because at the end of the day, these guys at the top, there's structure. There's protections. They've thought about all of these things. Yeah, it's like there's a pecking order, and it's like you said, mafia is the perfect way to put it. Where it's like, if you're not ready to take down the mafia, don't waste our time, because we know who they are, right? We know who they are, and we know what it would take to move them out of the way. And it's not going to be free and fair elections. If it were that easy, bro, there would have been so much change in this continent. Like, people are not dumb. They're not just going, oh my God, like, yeah, I'm broke, I've got nothing, to show for it in my 20-year career. But you know what? X on Zan. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason at the end of the day. Like, these guys there's some smart gents in there. And you can't, if you're not ready for it, shut it up. That's why me personally, I don't rate him at all.
So look, in terms of rating him, that's a separate. I know there's people that will come and say no, but he's the closest who's ever come, or he's the one that's done the most more than anyone else. There was no CCC election that I saw where I thought, oh, there's a chance. Like you can feel it in the air. Where in my mind, I think he's the opposition leader by default, not by merit. I think he just ended up being, Tsvangirai passed the torch, but with the torch, he also passed the public support to him. But I've always felt like this thing of Ukuthi Umuntu, people are like, I know Zimbabwe is a majority. I'm not even sure if it's a majority Christian country, to be honest. But people are like, give us strategy, tell us something. It's in God's hands. Now,
bro,
come on, dude. Like,
come on.
And I get we want change, and we have this savior complex, and we want him to be the guy, but sometimes he's not the guy, right? And it can happen.
All the time he's not the guy. You can't tell people the election is in God's hands, bro. It can't be.
It can't be.
No. There's no way. We know, because we know who you're up against. It ain't in God's hands, my nigga. Like, it's just not gonna happen that way. So if that's your mental state, then it's like, it's different if that was the thing that people say, no, he just says that because it's the right thing to say on social media, right?
No,
but
it's
like,
not.
People are going around being like,
this is not the right thing to say on social media. Because here's the thing, right? He gets pelters for it. Like, whenever he does things like that, and I'm not saying don't be religious, right? But time and place. Because I think sometimes people will be like, Chief, instead of telling us about God and Jesus and that he's going to fix this thing, what's your strategy? How are you going to have these spaghetti rolls that you want so much? I've seen it in the future. I see it. It's destined. It is ordained. Right?
Bro.
Elections have come.
This guy's moving like Dr.
There's
Umar,
been clear
right?
rigging of the elections, right? The opposition party, the party coming up against, hasn't provided you with some of the results. There's issues with voter intimidation in some rural areas. There's issues with the results not being collected, not enough ballot papers. After the election, victory is declared. I've seen it in heaven. My guy.
What was that guy from Gold Mafia? The prophet. Was it Angel?
Hubert Angel.
Same WhatsApp group. How are you sounding like him, bro? And it's like, when you watch that Gold Mafia documentary, that man looked like a clown, right? Everybody was always laughing. With each week that the documentary came out, people would laugh at what Prophet Angel was saying, right?
Yeah.
It was just, it's comedy. And it's like, if you sound like that dude, and we have, opinions on that guy and how much of a clown he is, then you come in like, right, I'm cut from the same jib, and I'm going to try and freeze him up. Like, it literally is gaslighting. That's what we said last time, man. It's gaslighting. To tell a nation, we literally are seeing Mnangagwa being sworn in, right, for, I guess, a second term or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then you're on Twitter telling us the victory is ours. The citizens are winning. whatever, all it is.
I've seen it in heaven. But anyway.
Like, come on. Like, I don't know, man. Like, and you sign that with your name. Like, that's what I'm saying. Me personally, I'm convinced that man is a plant. And now you send him out there because no, it's embarrassing.
I don't think honestly, he's a plant.
It's embarrassing, fam. You can't put that out there and next to your name and be like, no, yeah, Kuzulu.
So, anyways, so my big issue is he's resigned from the party that he started for the very same reasons he started it. So, where to now, right? Do you then start a new political party and then go on the next
to split the people
years
again,
trying to market that party to the citizens of Zimbabwe? Or does he try and see who's with him, who comes with him on this new journey? Does he go back to the CCC after the issues are sorted out? If you were him, Mr. Maposa, what would you do?
If I were him, and I'm being dead serious, I would open a church and leave politics. No, I'm being so serious. Number one, he will make money because clearly he has the ability to have people believe. Right? He will make money, and he's a devout Christian. And so, open a church, open the church of Nelson Chamisa, and I promise you, it will be a successful thing. But over politics, he's shown that he doesn't have. Yeah, no, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the stomach for it. At the end of the day, like if your own party can give you stress, imagine your mother going, I'm going. Like, what do you mean?
Hey, that's him. He's out.
We're here because
gone.
of you. We're here because of you. No, fam, come. Let's sort all of this stuff out. You know, like that's how I see things. So if that's his attitude, then let him open a church. And, you know, he's going to face no resistance in a church. Everyone who's there loves him and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, let him do a church. All the politics are channel. Like,
let it be.
Nah. Just allow it, bro. Allow it. But anyway, as channel, I'm kidding. I actually get pissed talking about this guy. No, it's very... And the support. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something completely. And there is a possibility that I'm missing something about him or what he's done or what he said that has, because I'm like, what is it about him that had all you niggas convinced? There's if you're in the same court as me, which was, listen, we just wanted to vote for anyone who's not Nazu, cool. I'm not talking to you. No problem. Me and you, same. Siafanan.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about supporters. Staunch, like, I believe in this guy. Please at us and tell us why you believe in him. I just want to see, because again, I'm not pretending I have all the information out there for everything. So I'm happy to be educated. If I'm wrong or if I'm not considering something, please go ahead and tell me. I'd love to know it. But anyway, quick one for the people because we're running out of time here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look here. Oh, we have to talk about this. So yeah, I got an email from LinkedIn. I realized it was a phishing email, so I'm just letting people know. I got an email it says from LinkedIn support, and it says, "Hi Tabo, we received a password reset notification for your LinkedIn account." Then it gives me the code, right? And then at the bottom it says, "Didn't initiate this? Immediately cancel the password reset. Thank you for helping us keep your account safe. The team behind LinkedIn," right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything looked relatively standard. The formatting of the email, I was like, but anyway, whatever, right? So I was like, this looks kind of fishy. But the first thing that tipped me off was, number one, they sent this to my school account, and my LinkedIn is not linked to my school account. So I was like,
first red flag.
So I was like, did the school like make one for us or something? Like, I don't know, but like, I think I would have known by now, right? It's been a minute. So that's the first thing. So I was like, let me check the email. Because like the name on the email is LinkedIn support. So if you just look at that, you think it's legit. So I clicked on the actual email. And the email is linkedin.alerting.services@gmail.com. That's the email address.
Okay.
Actual email address. So anyway, all this to say, guys, please be careful online. So if I had clicked on that link, again, probably my data or there's a hack or whatever, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So immediately put that email in the junk and stuff like that. But like, guys, be careful what you click on, even if it's from a website that you know. You know, I'm happy that it happened on an account that it raised the red flag. That was my school account. Like, nah. But had it been my normal personal account where it is linked to my LinkedIn, maybe I click. But anything that I didn't actually do. So if I didn't actually, you know, do the password Lokuzin, right? I am very cautious to click because I'm like, I didn't do this. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, unless the person's in my email, they can't reset the password. So if I do nothing, again, nothing's going to happen because someone's going to reset my password, but they're not in my email. As far as I know, they haven't hacked my email address. So I just usually typically, let me not click on anything, right? But for anybody else, yeah, they could have just clicked thinking, you know, if you get it right. So just be careful, guys. Look at the email address that's actually emailing you. I've gone to the extent, especially with the bank, to be like, hey, I'm seeing this email. Is this actually from you guys? Is this person that's emailing me? Is that like a proper, you know what I mean? Like just to be safe about certain things. Yeah, because these guys are getting smarter. You know, it's not the stupid Nigerian prince, you know, from years ago. Like people are out there for your data, fam.
They
so people just need to be.
I put up something for sale on Gumtree the other day. I was trying to clear out the storage space that I've been renting for a while. So there's something that we no longer need, so we're trying to sell it. So this guy reaches out to me. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm interested in, you know, in buying, I think it was a TV stand. It was a TV stand. Yeah, I'm interested in buying a TV stand. Can I buy from you? I'm like, yeah, sure, my man. This is the price. Like, can we talk about the price a little bit? He comes down by like $200. I'm like, sharp, cool. I'm always, so because someone's once tried to scam me on Gumtree more than once, so I'm always like on high alert whenever I'm selling something on Gumtree. So we go on. He's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna send a guy to come pick it up, and then here is a link for you to receive payment. What you really want? This guy thinks I'm an idiot.
He's taking you for Santa Claus.
Take me for Santa Claus. So he sends me a link. He's like, yeah, so if you click on this link, you'll be able to just complete your name, surname, a few other details, and then you'll be able to receive the payment into your bank card
account.
So that time he's like, yes, this is like for career fees and just so that the other guy can just come scoop it. Takes me civilly to a FedEx website, and the FedEx.
How you clicked?
Huh?
You clicked?
Yes, I did, and it goes to FedEx, right? A FedEx website. So I'm already like, I already know it, right, my guy. I'm not feeling anything here. So I'm like, how? So then I reply. This is when I think he got pissed. These guys get pissed because I enjoy taking scammers like right to the end. And then and just being like, actually, no. So I'm like, my guy, you know, this FedEx website, it looks, you know, how do I work it? And then he explains like, no, so you open it and then you fill in like your name, your surname, and then your account number, and then I'll know exactly where to send the money. And then I respond and I'm like, how long did it take you to set up that fake FedEx thing? Did he not block me right away?
Really?
Yeah. Blocked me right away, didn't reply. And then another one called me actually to say, oh yeah, I'm interested in this thing. I'm like, sharp. We go through the whole thing, and then he tells me the whole sob story about how no. So I can already tell the Nigerian accent, right? So I'm like, sharp. It is what it is. I'm being scammed. Might as well have fun with it. He tells me the whole sob story. Yeah, so at the moment I'm not in Cape Town, but I'm buying this for my son. You know, he needs a TV unit or whatever. I don't know what it is I was selling at the time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna need to buy this for my son. I'm not in the city right now, but you know, I'll be there soon. I'm just gonna get someone to come pick it up. So anyways, can I send you money via like PayFast, and then you can withdraw it, and then after that we'll sort it. I'm like, yeah, my guy, whatever. Then he's like, sorry, can you also pay my career guy? I'm gonna send you money via PayFast and send you a payment notification, so that you can see, that I've sent you the money, and then you can just e-wallet my career guy to this number. Here we go. Right, sharp. So I have a PayFast account, and then so I play the whole game, and then he sends me a payment notification to my email to say, I've sent you 1,000 rand for career. I'm like, okay. That time it says payfast@gmail.com, but it's got the branding and everything, right? Like it's got the signature, it's got the logo.
But isn't it like PayPal in the sense that if he's actually sent you the money, you would have gotten your own email anyway to say Tabo sent you money?
Yeah, like World Remit, when you send me money via World Remit, it'll send me an email to say Tabo sent you money.
Exactly.
You'll receive it in the next 48 to 72 hours, right? Typically that's what
so PayFast works the same way.
PayFast will work the same way. It'd be like, hey, Mang has sent you money, you'll receive it in the next 48 hours or whatever it is, right?
So technically I don't need to send you proof of transfer.
Yes, basically it's the same, exactly. And then you know how whenever you need me to pay for something here, you'd be like, I've sent you money, can you pay for it today? And then the money will reflect in like 2 days. So that's exactly what he's counting on, right? I see that notification, and then I e-wallet the 1,000 rand to the courier, in quotes, and then my money never arrives. And then by that time it's too late. That's the scam.
But if you know you're supposed to get that email yourself, like how do I supposed to be?
No, but he sent the email, right? So it comes into my email address with the PayFast logo, the everything. If I hadn't already thought it was a scam,
the email is coming directly from PayFast, not what he forwarded you. Here's the confirmation.
No, so he's impersonating PayFast. With the logo, email signature, everything, right down to the T. The way it looks like on the official PayFast communication, that's him. So sends it, and dope. Then I check, then I see payfast@gmail.com. So we're talking on the phone, and then I'm like, so my guy, how many people have you scammed with this trick? What do you mean scam? What do you mean scam? You're so stupid. Huh? You're so stupid, huh? That time you get angry, right? You guys get pissed.
Wait. Is this a voice note or is it a call?
What do you mean scam? You're so... Huh?
Was this a voice note?
No, this is over the phone. Right? We're doing this over the phone.
I was hoping.
So we're talking as he's doing it. So he's like, right, I'm about to send you money to your PayPal now. Cling. And then I get the email. It's like, oh yeah, so you got the money, yeah? So now you can send money to the courier guy, yeah? You just e-wallet, and then he will come pick up the couch with your cash.
I'm a Nigerians. Guys, this is the problem. Why are you they do this now?
So I'm like, my guy, how many people have you scammed with this trick? You're so stupid. What do you mean scam? Why are you talking about scam, man? You're so stupid. Like, my guy, it says payfast@gmail.com. And like, come on now. Like, I'm not ready.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, you know when Hans tell breakup stories?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, so I confronted my man, and then he got so pissed, like, hey, why do you think I'd ever cheat on you?
Bruh.
Like, man, went ballistic. Exactly. And it's just like, brother, calm down, bro.
So then...
Calm down.
So then eventually he hangs up angrily because he's upset. How dare I accuse him of being a scammer? And then I check on WhatsApp. I'm blocked. Right. I'm like, okay. Used to this now. So I've sold so many things on Gumtree. Like, legit. Like, fortunately, I've never been scammed because somehow when I started selling on Gumtree, someone told me to be discerning. And I've always just been very anxious and cautious when it happens. But then I've read so many sad stories, bruh, when people are like, I've contacted Payfast, they can't do anything. I've contacted Gumtree, they say they can't do anything. And this extends to whether you're selling on Payfast, OLX, Facebook Marketplace, same thing.
Because what do you like? I don't think there's anything that those companies can do at the end of the day. Because I don't think they can, like, unless the money isn't like still in the wallet. Maybe you could be like, okay, we reversed the transaction, but then how do they prove that? You know, what if you're the one that's trying to scam them, right? So umuntu wakhona hasn't come to pick up the item. And then now you still have the item of it, plus they've reversed the sheets. Like, it's just super messy.
Yeah.
But anyway, anyone who's into this type of cybersecurity,
the only person that can help you, the only entity that can help you at that time is your bank, right? Gumtree will hold their hands up and say, "Hey, bruh, Tina, all we do is we provide a platform for people to buy and sell. Yeah. Anything else,
buyers and sellers,
as a service. Anything else is between the two of you." And what they'll say is, they'll say to you, as a seller, you are verified. As a buyer, so sometimes people who will search on Gumtree don't register with Gumtree. So they'll like get your contact details and then like WhatsApp you privately or call you privately. So they won't work on, so Gumtree will never have the chat history to even know what happened. So typically what they'll say to you is, as much as possible, try keep the chat within Gumtree, so that we can track and trace
reference points
if we can.
Yeah.
But the moment you also start taking conversations off Gumtree to WhatsApp, as Sagwas with his team. So all Gumtree will ever give you is guidelines. They'll say, right, Tabo, you're selling this thing, right? Make sure you don't meet this person in a secluded location. Make sure that if they can, they send you a picture. Make sure you know who it is. Make sure there's no price that's too good to be true. So someone who agrees to your price, like off the bat, and even agrees to extra incentives or whatever, too good to be true. Sometimes just and then your Payfast will say, well, Tina, it's not our platform. You know, this person said they used our platform, but as you can see, it's payfast@gmail.com. Asingeni Dawa Tina.
So exactly, it ain't our issue. It's not my baby. It's comrade with
the only person that can help you out at that point is your bank. So if you call your bank quickly and you're like, guys, this is a fraudulent transaction, I've been scammed, they can try and block it, but if the money's gone and it's been taken, and of course usually via e-wallet, there's nothing they can do. There's worse stories. There's a story of someone who responded to an ad for a property for rent on Gumtree. This one is actually sad. So they lived in a different city and they were looking to move to Cape Town, apparently. Long story short, they speak to this person who's advertising. The advertising person says, okay, no, cool, please fill out this application form. They send them a form together with the ID and the whatevers. They fill in the form. They're like, yeah, we're going to do a quick check and then we'll come back to you in 24 hours. They do the check. So typically, right, when you want to like rent a place in Century City, it costs about 12,000 rand for a 1-bedroom apartment. So Century City is where like Canal Walk is, and it's like really upmarket. Yeah. Quite central. So this was like 12,000 rand for a 2-bedroom. So already this person thinks it's a steal. So they fill in the form, they're excited. Then they're like, no, pay a deposit and an application fee. You pay 2 months rent deposit, so it comes to about 24,000 or whatever, plus the application fee of 1,000, 25k. You pay to this supposed agent, and then this person says, okay, come to this address, and then you'll collect the key, and then we'll sign you in. Person goes up to this white person's apartment. Oh, hey, we're here with our moving truck. We're here to collect our key. We're moving in today. Did this white man not look at this woman and say, what do you mean? This is my apartment. Like, no. Oh. I signed a lease. I filled in the application form. I did a whole check. I paid the deposit. Here's the proof. Like, hey, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who this person is.
This is my B-neck.
I have no idea what I got. And then that's how the person found out. As they had with all their furniture in a truck, as they were about to move into this new place, that's how they found out they were scammed.
Yeah. No, the man evaporate, bro. There's no way. There is no way. But hey, we're out of time, Mr. Moyo, so I'm just gonna run through this. One topic that I wanted to do, but quick shout out. In terms of real quick, we haven't done this in a while. 6 Foot Weights Fantasy League. Shout out to Ropa. She's top of the league. Senna about 26 points. 26 points off. So you still have a few weeks to make up, Mr. Moyo. So that's the 6 Foot Weights Fantasy League. Then also a quick shout out to someone that helped me indirectly. Shout out to Ayanda. Ayanda had in the head-to-head, but this is the +1 fantasy league. There's another one. I'll come to ours. Mm-hmm. I had a game. I had a pretty good weekend, pretty decent weekend. And also against Twende, I beat Twende, and Ayanda was playing the guy who's number 2, Mzingai, mm-hmm. and she crushed Mzingai. Mm-hmm. Me and Mzingai have been tied on points in the head-to-head. So because Mzingai lost to Ayanda, so shout out to Ayanda. I am now number 1 at the top of the +1 head-to-head. I've also made a pretty good return to match fitness in the Cheese Boy Cup head to head. I'm now 7th, just behind Ayanda, 3 points behind. So a win and a loss for her, I'd be above. And then we're charging to the top, where we have Ndlovini's 11. I'm at 37 points. The guy at number 1, Joe Kachecha, is at 55 points. So quite a distance to make up. I need to pray for his downfall. But yeah.
I don't know how you guys
do tight
then how do you plan like future game weeks with a head-to-head thing? Do you know what I mean? So like, for example, I'll bring in, tricky. So I know that there's a couple of blank game weeks coming up, right? So for example, my transfers this week, I'm wary to steer clear of Liverpool players because they've got a blank in game 26 or 25, whatever it is. I forget.
Yeah.
But it means Owiti compromising this week, potentially, not making transfers or bringing in specific players just to capitalize long term. So does that mean that every week you're like shifting and making changes and moving week to week?
But then the thing is, the rules still apply, right? So if I make too many changes, so if I only have 1 free transfer, right? And then I make 2 transfers, that's -4. So already it's meant to be 0-0 for that game week, but I start on -4. So you still have to be wary about how many transfers you make into your team to beat that guy. So on times like that where it's not a equal game week, you just have to pray that the person that you're against doesn't have a free hit or a wild card or whatever they can use. Otherwise it's late. So some game weeks you just have to take the L and be like, you know what? I only have 6 active players. It is what it is. I'm just going to pray for a miracle. My captain hits a hat trick and I survive by the skin of my teeth. That's what you have to hope for. But if the person is prepared and has the free hit that weekend, don't even waste time taking a points hit. Just take the L and then hope to recover. So it's a very fascinating to try. So, but I'd be curious if there's someone who's doing extremely well in both. So leading a league and leading in, what's this thing called, in head-to-head? Because I feel like I'm one or the other. So head-to-head, I do well. But then for the leagues, I am always kind of just in the middle. That's typically what happens. Because I'll focus head on head. Every weekend, I'm looking at, okay, who am I playing against? Who did they have on their team last week? What was the setup? Do we have the same players? And then who am I adding to my team?
That's like a differential from that person.
Exactly. Because the differentials are the ones that win you the game. So you say, okay, we have the same 4 guys. Cool. No worries there. Who do we not have who's the same? And who can, because you're a good captain's pick away from winning that weekend. That's all it takes. Some people captained Solanke, some people captained Watkins, right? And we know what happened last weekend. So anyway, quick shout out to that. And then the last topic that we'll do really, really quick. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Yeah?
Did you? Oh my God, sit down. You don't know the accusations against Bishop T.D. Jakes? You didn't hear about that?
The accusations? I heard about that. He was into some shady stuff with Diddy. But I don't
like
know the specifics.
Oh my God. So again, if it is completely false, I would beat up whoever started the rumor because it is a wild rumor. So everybody knows, Bishop T.D. Jakes, man of God, ABCD, right? This man was accused of, I think he would attend, apparently they said, number one, he's gay. He would attend Diddy's parties, right? Because Diddy would throw parties or whatever. And at Diddy's parties, he would identify as a power bottom. And do you know what a power bottom is?
No.
Apparently, this is what I was told. A power bottom is a bottom is the person who takes it. It's the dude who takes it. That's basically a bottom, right? That's the bottom. A power bottom is one who brags about taking the heaviest equipment. That is a power bottom. So they said that's how the good bishop was moving. That is a wild rumor.
Askis?
And then obviously it broke. Apparently it started out, someone put it out on TikTok, and then the TikTok caught fire, and everyone just believed. Because I was just like, so I was told, I was in Zip. This was maybe just before your wedding is when I heard about this thing. And it's like, that is such a, because again, Charlemagne always says this, right? Which is, nobody cares about the truth if the lie is more interesting. And that is an interesting ass lie.
If it is a lie.
I heard that. Yeah, if it is, I heard that and I was like, yo, that is power bottom. Bro, I literally could not believe what I was hearing. So that was what I could say. I mean, he denied it. He said, manga, I'm not even going to bother, responding, But then, again, one thing that we didn't speak about was the accusations against Christian Horner. So it's like all of these things, now these days when someone denies, it's like, I don't know, fam. It's like, I hope it's not true, but at the same time, it's like everybody denies. So it's like that, an aggressive denial doesn't really exonerate you in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. The only thing that I've ever seen was Michael Irving. He was accused of inappropriately, speaking or touching a waitress at a restaurant that he was at. I think it was at a Marriott hotel. And she made those accusations and he got dropped. He was working for the NFL Network, right, on TV. And the NFL Network dropped him. So, because it was like, you're untouchable, blah, 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 right? So with him, obviously, he's like, hey, there's camera footage, there's this, and that. I deny this vehemently. And then he went on to sue the Marriott because he's like, the Marriott has cost him, I think like $10 million or something like that, in damages. So for you to launch a countersuit, that to me, I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? I believe for you to go to that extent, I would think that, hey, Mudlo, he's got some, because most people would launch a countersuit.
Yeah.
It's going to end in nothing. And he won the suit at the end of the day. So I think Marriott does have to pay him damages. But back to the Bishop T.D. Jakes thing. That
is wild.
So anyway.
Also, as un Bishopi.
There's so there's a wild clip that I thought was fake, but apparently it was real in one of his sermons where he says, have you ever been swallowed up?
Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
And it's like, why would you say that, fam? In light of the allegations, false or true or whatever. Why would you say
I don't know.
You know what I mean? If someone has accused you... If someone has accused you of that and then you're going around saying, have you ever been swallowed?
Although, I'm a pastorly. I think one day we'll get into the Diddy chat. Because there's a lot.
I was late for Diddy. No, for that one is late. It's just one of those things where, they when you have too many enemies and people are just like piling on, it's like, everything I hear is just dab. It's dab.
I think he's
late.
Touching jail. He will at some point.
Probably.
There's another documentary that's on YouTube about TB Joshua and all the things he used to do whilst he was the leader of that church. What's it called?
Wait. Did I say TB Joshua or did I say TD Jakes?
You said TD Jakes.
Okay, cool. You are switching to Joshua.
I'm talking about TB Joshua. You see, once they start adding initials, that's where the danger is. But apparently he used to run a whole thing in his church where he would rape women and be treated like some kind of king behind the scenes.
Wow.
And a lot
I saw, isn't it like BBC or something that's putting out the documentary?
Yeah, it's a BBC documentary. It's on YouTube. And
Sipumile?
Yeah, Sipumile. All 4 parts. I think it's 4 parts.
Oh, wow.
It's a 4-part documentary of these women documenting the experiences in TB Joshua's church. And it just goes to say, bruh, I mean, I was always, so whenever it comes to these men of God and whatever, I'm always like, bruh, it's giving cult. And when these people start speaking about what's happening behind the scenes, it's actually scarier than whatever you imagine. And then even those miracles, apparently a lot of them were fake, right? They were like people acting. And then sometimes they even drug you so that you just act fine.
No. Really, for me, I learned very, very early. Yes, I know what you're talking about, pastor. Yes, I know what the man of God, but it's just, some of the scandals, you'd be shocked. Some of the scandals that you find in the house of God. You don't even have to, because people think, no, your parents will say, no, don't go to the club because, this and this happens. And if you're a girl, don't wear that short skirt because they're going to take you and do this to you. But meanwhile, you're wearing your long ankle skirts in church, and that's where the madness is going on.
And I remember growing up, right, I used to feel, so I was one of those kids who every weekend we had sports, thank God. And there'd be other kids my age who would join choir, there'd be altar boys, they'd be like involved. And then I was just like, church on Sunday, then go home, right? I was never that guy, so 12 youth, youth meeting, camp, I was just never that person. Also just because growing up I was shy, so now I must go meet new people and make new friends, and it's just everything that I didn't like or want. But now, as I get older, and then you hear about all the stories about what Catholic priests used to do to those altar boys, and you're like, yeah. And that time I remember you'd feel, because other parents would like look at their children with so much pride. Oh, my child is so involved in the church. Excuse me, they do this and they do that. And then like when, I'm not saying my parents didn't do this, to be honest. They never did. But you could tell other parents would almost like want to shame you as a child who's like not involved in like the church things. And then when the documentaries start coming out, oh, Catholic priests used to do this to boys. Oh, this used to happen behind the scenes. Oh, this would happen with the choir master. This person would do this with the youths. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
So, hey man, there's a lot.
Pastor Zvanibani with church member's wife. This guy. This guy.
And there are so many stories about Obabumfundisi macking on congregants, or church elders macking on congregants, or to know you must stay behind or your father or pastor. Young girl of 16, why are you staying behind with this grown-ass man for? And to be honest, I know church people don't like it when I refer to their spiritual daddies as grown-ass men, but they are. Like, a lot of these people are weird, and you guys need to snap out of it like this.
No, like, I mean, being a pastor is very rewarding to be a perv and a pastor at the same time. Like, you're literally in heaven. You have people that just trust you by default.
Treat you like a king,
willingly manipulated. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, sometimes, again, not all the pastors who actually doing the Lord's work. We salute you. Keep doing what you do. But then the problem is there's always a few rotten eggs in the basket who,
100%.
They take things, to the wrong side. And it's just like, it's what's shocking is the frequency at which it happens. That's to me, that's the shocking part. So obviously it's like, yeah, nobody's perfect, but it's like, the number of stories of people that I'm actually connected to. This is not like, oh, said that me, I heard. Like, this is someone that I know.
Bruh.
Someone that I trust who's telling me that, Jay, it changed, this and this and this happened. And I'm like, no, not my church. But they're like, fam, you, every Saturday when you were coming in there's Carl.
Bruh, I know people who don't go to church anymore because of how they were like molested or harassed by church elders and our bishop and our deacon or our fundis. And then it's like,
No, it's actually crazy. It's actually crazy.
There's this one pastor who once said something, which I salute to this day, actually. One of my uncle's church in Joburg. He said he doesn't do house calls. And he has abazalwane. And he said this very angrily in church this one day. That's why I never forget it. He's like, yeah, I know some of you, he's married, by the way. He's like, I know some of you want me to do like house calls to come and like pray for you in your house. Let me put it straight to you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do that. And that was, that was a man. And I was like, you know what? I look at you as a human. You're not trying to hold yourself up to some high standard. He's like, no, I'm not going to come pray for you at your homes. Next thing I get there, you've got candles on, you're wearing a gown. It's just going to be weird. Right? Like, no, don't do that. Yeah. You want me to come pray for you, you're going to make an appointment through the church and we're going to make it a formal, proper thing. But that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's bro, what happens there? I remember this one church queen, bro. Like, she'd just say and do things in a certain way where I'm like, what's going on here, fam? Like, why are we in this type of situation? Like, again, it was never, I think she was like, even like, you're at the phase of assessing the water. Yeah, what's the temperature here? And it would just be one of those things where it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's just in the moment, I just didn't think anything about it. But then now when you hear certain stories of other people tell you like, yo, this is what happened to me, and it's like, it sounds familiar to an experience that you've had. You're like, bro, like maybe I almost got had myself, right? But I was just too dumb to notice. The person's like, this one is not catching the hits.
Yeah, bro.
Let me just let it go, But like at the end of the day, my parents would be pretty trusting of anyone who was in church in general. Like it's just an environment where people are not really off the bat like super suspicious. At least growing up, it wasn't like everyone's. Yeah. You know how you say with the Gumtree thing, Uti immediately Senna is on high alert from the jump. Right, Senna, it's
on
more
Gumtree. I'm already on
not
high
a scam.
At church, I'm not thinking anything.
Exactly. So it's just, and I think that's why these things happen there, because everybody has their barriers down. Because hey, we're here for God. We're here, to praise together. But then other people take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Men, women, and people become all types of victims. All types of victims. But anyway, this was not a bitch about church session. But if you do have an interesting story, feel free to add us and let us know. CSM is a safe space. We're going to treat it right. We're going to analyze the situation.
Yeah, but yes.
You should also listen to this last episode I listened to Feeling Station, bro. I don't know how many times we need to tell these ads. Stop messing around with dudes that are 10 years older than you, bro. Like, it's just a bad idea. What are you doing? Leave it alone. Like, what are you doing with 10 years? Imagine 10 years. If you know anyone 10 years older than you.
Well, I mean,
just imagine
10
that.
years older than me was
That's
39.
weird.
To be honest, 39, 29
Senna,
is a bad age gap.
No. It's weird. It's weird. Because again, even I sat down and I thought about this. I tried to put okay, realistically, what are we looking at? And to be honest with you, no matter which direction you look at it, 10 years up, 10 years down, right? It's weird because at 39 years of age, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've gone through so many different life experiences.
Yeah.
Like maybe you've been fired, maybe you've gone to a point where you were dead broke and then you made it out and now you're successful. All these you have all this different perspective on life. Here comes Senna. Senna is, again, mature guy. He's 29. Career has been on the up and up. Your life has literally been since you've been born, Senna.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on an upward trajectory, right? Maybe one or two down moments, but you've been on an upward trajectory in general, right? So it's like, now you're dealing with someone who's been to the trenches and back, right? It's different, dog. Like, it's just a different level of perspective. Usaina's still like, I know things will work out. And, you know, at 39, you know, sometimes in life, shit doesn't work out, bro. Not everybody gets a happy ending, right? So, like, it's just one of those things where, to me, it's just 10 years.
Yeah.
Is a span.
Look, I think there's a difference between it working and it being appropriate. So maybe I'll differentiate between the two. It working, yes. Okay. 10-year age gap in any context already puts you in like a back foot in terms of will it work. It must be, you know, I saw a short clip where Shannon Sharp was talking to, was it Monique? And then Monique was on some, bro, you need like an old, stop playing around with the 26-year-old. You need like a 50-something, 40-something-year-old woman to take care of you. Yeah. Not these veteran, not these young ones, because you're too old for them. Yeah. Now, I think that's good advice in terms of a relationship that has lasting power and can work. But in terms of whether or not a 39-year-old dating a 29-year-old is inappropriate, I don't think so. Because once you go 49, 39, 59, 49, it's different. But 35, 25. Or...
Sen, if your wife right now was 19 years old, right now, imagine.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, Guti. 29, 19.
I think you knew her. No. Even, but like I'm saying, you knew her when she was around 19, right?
As in me and her, do we know each other at 19?
Yeah. Do you know? I think you knew each other, right?
Yeah, we met when we were 21.
Okay, so we met in even 21.
Yeah, not first year varsity, but much later in varsity though. Still 21.
But think of the person that she was then, right? So, and compared to the person that she is now, it's like, imagine now you're trying to date her in that state that she was at 21. Like, it's just like, if I think about my own wife, I'm like, bruh, you 10 years ago, like, nah, you 10 years ago was with me now.
Even looking at the pictures, I'm like, no, bruh, what the hell was this?
it just wouldn't have worked.
But funny enough,
it's just one of those things.
The flip side happens. She looks at pictures from me from first year and she's like, no, dude, ain't no way.
No, because until you hadn't taken your steroids yet. So it's with you, absolutely. You and Tate, absolutely. Any pictures pre-bulk up are very, very dodgy. It's late. It's very late. I won't even lie to you. But anyway, that's not the point of all of this. My point is, in the specific context of younger girl, significantly younger, significantly older man. It's like, bro, you can't. It's almost to a point where I'm like, bro. So you're saying he manipulated you? Oh, I'm so surprised. So you're saying that he was insecure and he tried to take away your freedoms? I'm so surprised.
Yeah, because you're not at the same place in life, right? So, for example, if you're 35, your Friday nights you want to be inside the house, drinking, watching movies, or playing video games, relaxed, right? This young one wants to be Cuban, conga, souk. What's going on?
She's trying to be with
him. Nothing. Where's the vibes, you know? Exactly. I'm not saying there's 35-year-olds who wouldn't want to do that, no, but the probability that you find someone who aligns with your lifestyle, I agree with you, is significantly limited.
My friends who are at that age of, 34, 35, 36, like, again, it's either they have families now, they are very big on rest, they're very big on, traveling and like just, mature shit. Yes, they'll go to groove here and there, but they don't live at groove. But at that age of like 19 to 22, you can live at groove, bro. Those are your college years, have fun, have a good time. Like, but you know what I mean? Like,
but for example,
drunk from Friday to Sunday.
But I don't think at like 29, 30, if you're looking north of 10 years, it's the worst thing in the world. Yes, maybe it may not work, but you could find someone with whom it works for you guys.
No, I just think it's a weird, like if you're 29, 30 as a woman, right? And you're dating a dude that's 40, right? Let's just take as an example.
Yeah.
To me, it's just one of those things where like, I can guarantee you, yes, you're mature and you are probably, you're a working woman, all this other shit, right? Cool. I can always see that type of dynamic. But at the end of the day, it's asking for trouble, because these dudes are always going to be on a different tip. Like, they're always going to feel like they're the authority because I'm there. Like, you know how dudes have the egos up, right? So if I'm older than you, like, I don't know, maybe I'm going to change. I'm going to ask myself this question in 10 years' time. And it's like, okay, cool. Someone who's 30 years old, do I rate them? Because right now, anyone 10 years younger than me, I'll rate you for shit. It's just in a romantic context, right? Not in a, like, hey, you could be a very smart 20-year-old girl, please, I'm not insulting you. But in terms of like, oh yeah, would I date someone? Like, no, absolutely not.
Yes.
Because it just wouldn't work. Because that person is just in a different phase of their life. I think 10 years, literally, it's a decade, bro. We're all in different phases. And I don't think these phases mesh a lot of the time of where you are in life. They don't necessarily mesh. Because now if you're with this 40-year-old guy, maybe you still enjoy groove, you know, maybe 2 weekends a month, right? And stuff like that. And guy is into different things. He's into like, no, that's slightly, oh no, I want you to cook and clean and do all this other stuff. Now you're fighting with someone because he expects these things of you. Yeah. Yet you're like, no, why should I do that? Nah, I'm a millennial. That's you know what I mean? Like, it's just, the gap is too big. You might as well be fighting with your mom or your dad at that point. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't see it.
I think the biggest story, to wrap up, the worst story of something like this that became normalized. I think you know the story of Celine Dion and her husband. What was his name? Renee Angelil or something like that. I think he met her when she was 12. When she was trying to make it as a singer in Canada. And then eventually, I think the age gap was 26 years. And he'd been married before. And then eventually they got together, got married, I think when she was 20-something. And they stayed together till he died. But then I think that story is creepy. And I don't know how, like, the media, like, romanticizes it. But I see what you're saying, and I think for the most part, you're right.
Yeah, no, it is creepy. It's like, I don't know. I think 5 years maximum. That's kind of in either direction.
Yeah.
I think 5 is palatable, bro. Like, it's like, you know, now it's like someone who's 25 right now. Okay, maybe you can give that a chance. But like, 10 in it. And some of you, man, have, you know, I've heard stories of someone being with someone who's 13 years older than them. I'm like, 13, bro. A whole teenager. It's I don't know. This shit just doesn't add up for me. It's super uncomfortable. It's just kind of like, because then when you hear the horror stories, you're like, yeah, nigga, of course someone 10 years older than you thinks like this. Like,
yeah, you hear the horror stories. Aye.
No. Anyway, I'll see what episode number. It's the one that was someone about something entitlement. Is the name of it. It was one of the latest ones. You all should go and listen to it for yourselves. But like, yeah. One quick thing. So like, she was with this dude, right? And then apparently she made rice and she put like cooking oil, a little bit of cooking oil in the water to boil the rice, and made the rice. And then the guy was like, did I tell you to put cooking oil in the rice? You know, you must ask me these things first. And then try and lash at the rice and then made his own rice. Like,
that's funny as fuck.
it's like, come on, guys. At some point, it's like, like that's why you need to sit down and be like, yo, I'm with a bad. Obviously, baddies are gonna do baddie things. At the end of the day, why are you with a bad? It's like, leave these daddies alone, fam. Leave them alone. Let them go play with their age mates. Stop messing up the economy. But anyway,
Yes.
Laptop yam size yafa.
No, Mr. Maps.
Signing out from here. Good luck to Lindo giving this to a late. So guys, the podcast might be late. I don't even know why I'm saying it on the podcast because you don't want to know what's out. But anyway, until who's gonna know? They're never gonna know. Anyway, right, Mr. Moyo, as usual, or rather, people like the thing, subscribe to the thing, retweet the thing, and if you don't, we're inclined to believe you're going to join the Comrade Chamisa's party. Mr. Moy.
Ladies.